Hey, so this is a really highly experimental camera in the hammock setup. I have to probably give a epilepsy warning or seasickness, but I'll try to stay still unless I get really excited because it is a very exciting topic I want to share with you. Well, first of all, the reason for the whole hammock setup is I thought, aw, it would be nice to have you just, chilling in the hammock, sharing a cup of tea over here with me. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, and the topic I wanted to share about is an update on the Delta at the same time as one of the most significant transformations I've experienced in a very long time, if ever. Obviously, they're all quite unique and different, and this one is very unique in a way that a lot of the other, like I transform all the time. I like transforming, right? I'm always in these group programs and things, but it's always I have an internal shift, a paradigm shift, and then eventually, slowly, um, externally circumstance change. But this time, there's a significant internal shift, and I came home, and I just significantly also have changed my life in many ways. So I'll share all about that um, through the lens of the Delta, and just a bit of a catch up on I was in Australia and everything that transpired there. Might not be coherent at all times, but bear with me as I'm still unraveling everything that happened. So the Delta, I moved into position one, which was the root chakra and the physical, um, taking care of my physical body, being in the body, making sure the material world, if there's anything out of order, taking care of that. And that's the week when I flew off to Australia. As one other Delta flyers mentioned, it was funny because position one is you fly by yourself in the front of the Delta, and it was literally within hours after I stepped into that position that I literally flew off on the airplane. So the following day, I went to a temple night that my friend organized. I believe in various videos I've already mentioned a transformative retreat I was invited to participate in here at the start of October. My friend does kind of goddess activation, Lemurian remembrance work that went way over my logical mind, but the energetic, emotional, and just felt sense changes were undeniable. So I felt really strongly called to continue to connect with those women, with my friend Myra, and to just be in that energy in that circle. So I went and participated in a temple night. And again, it was just, a lot of energy moving, a lot of stuff happening, and met another bunch of incredible human beings. And I wasn't the only one that said, like, the following day I woke up as if hungover. It was just so much that shifted and moved. And I continued to be in the state pretty much the whole week. I slept for about 12 or 14 hours a day. But by now, I know enough not to question it, stuff's moving. I don't need to know what's moving. I don't need to know what's happening. All I know is that I need sleep, so I sleep. So it was really, again, very much a match to the Delta position. Physical, taking care of the physical. The mind doesn't know nothing happening on emotional plane. Just the physical needs to work itself out. Yeah, and it was great to reconnect and another powerful experience beyond mine. Like I don't know what happens. Something happens. That's how I tell everybody to try to encourage them to give it a go. And then the following weekend, I booked myself in for another kind of guided, was guided to find this retreat, tantric meditation. So not neo tantra. I learned this term. Neo tantra refers to the sexual practices, brought into the Western world these days from the Asian traditions. So this one was more traditional tantra, so embodied meditation, lots of chanting, lots of energy movement. Really enjoyed it. I was drawn to it because like it was kind of like not not very much advertised. I found it through clicking a million links and somehow landed on it, and I just really felt called. And the fact that it was kind of cryptic also appealed to me. Like, okay, go check it out. And I think what really caught my eyes, it was like silences and courage to help travel within. And I don't know about you, but the last this October, November was so like it was like a constant vortex. And I, through the previous videos that you've been watching, I've already uh, worked through the whole acceptance of the chaos and the vortex, and had my own paradigm shift around that, but still felt like a little bit of a respite would be in order. So it's like, okay, 3 days going inside myself. This is beginning to be great. So that's why I booked in. I went, and first of all, yeah, I really enjoyed the meditations themselves. Very different to say Vipassana, where it's like long seats, just with yourself. This is shorter seats, guided, small circle, all very experienced meditators. So there's also this field that helps you drop in really quickly. And again, another outstanding bunch of human beings. I'm just feel so blessed that I just seem to be, not necessarily connecting for a long time, but just finding myself surrounded with really amazing people lately. And yeah, on the second day, well, first of all, I'll try to piece it all together because I've done a little bit of Tantra meditation back some years ago with a teacher online only, so just courses and virtual retreats called Reggie Ray, who brought the Vajrayana Tantric tradition to the West. I really enjoyed it because as a human design project, I only have ajna and throat defined, so having a meditation that's all was like really going inside the body and feeling all the sensations of the body, I found extremely beneficial. And back those years ago, he already released a course called Somatic Descent, which is so some of those body-centered meditations, but also leading to a way of life where you give up the agency of your life from your mind to the body. But I went, about halfway into the course, didn't keep with it, and just forgot about it. So then I arrive at this retreat where it's a slightly different type of tantra, but the same principles. And I find myself straight away, like there was this whole body remembrance of all the central channel, the seating. There's the updraft of energy in the central channel that's supporting me in the meditation. It's so easy to go in, to stay in it. So, and then obviously, all the memories of the Reggie Ray's teachings came back. So then on day 2, so there was one piece, and then on day 2, the retreat was with Miroslav Petrovic. I'll put a link in the video description below. I mean, I keep saying that and I don't, but I'll start doing that. Really amazing. So yeah, he does public speaking out of presence. That's what originally attracted me to his work. So that's how I found the retreat, which isn't about public speaking. It's just about his core passion of this tantra awake awareness kind of practice. So yeah, he played for us a talk by Mike Snyder, which is a banjo man from Tennessee, who, without much exposure to Eastern philosophies and all these theories, found himself enlightened. And I found it incredibly refreshing, him explaining in his own terms what happened to him in simple terms. And yes, it was some of the things he was saying, but it was also some of the things he was saying that was validating the experiences I was having in the last few months that I wasn't exactly sure about, or I was doubting. And that was like epiphany, a huge epiphany. Because what was happening to me is, as I was already sharing a few times, is, this states of bliss would come and go at first. So I thought, oh, grace is visiting, wonderful. But then they would stay, and they would be like, oh, wow, okay, I can not just lay there blissed out, but I can get up and function and be in the world in a state of bliss. I was really, this is what drew me out online and wanting to share and dive deeper for myself into like what's going on. But then along with it came also, you know, a lot of like, well, this is it. This is just big experience of bliss. Like I don't want anything anymore. So like the productivity dropped off. Like I'm just laying around enjoying most of the time, because why would I want to be doing something else to achieve some result that would supposedly make me happy if I'm the happiest I've ever been right in this moment. So these are all the things where I'm like, you know, what's going on? You know, aren't I supposed to, even if I'm like, you know, achieve a certain realization, aren't I then supposed to be of service or spread the word? And here I am just laying like more, I'm turning more and more into vegetable in this very same hammock. So these were all the doubts rushing through my mind as those experiences were visiting me. So yeah, with the Benjamin talk, it's not like I have to listen to it again. It's not like he specifically addressed those states, but the way he was describing it, what I got out of his descriptions was like, no, this is this is it. Just the pure bliss of being is not so much the ultimate goal. I mean, is there even an ultimate goal at all? But it's like it's one of the experiences, or the experience of you know, on the way to realization, so to speak, or part of the. And I understand the full realization is when, you know, I've listened, as I was trying to deconstruct, especially the last couple of weeks, I've been listening to a little bit more material on the gene keys, specifically the Bliss gene key, where it says the acidic state is where the awareness lets go and there's no longer a me center. And the Benjamin spoke at length to that. He goes, at the end of the day, you realize that it's the me that is the problem. And as long as there's a me, you know, you're not quite there yet. So yeah, I very much still have a me. But that me, the way he said, is like at some point you will open your eyes and it will be stillness looking out through your eyes. Just, you know, not ambivalently, inequivocably, dispassionately, just like neutrally, just not so much even neutrally. For me, it's really blissfully looking out at everything out of stillness without any judgment, and you know, deciding this is good, that is bad. And the way he also talked about it is you open your eyes and you start seeing, doesn't matter what you're looking at, you see you. And for me, I have to admit that's still an intellect, like I understand intellectually, you know, the one consciousness and us just being little points of experience within this one consciousness. But I don't have it as an embodied experience. Like as I'm looking at things, I can kind of feel like, okay, that's us all within the soup of consciousness, but I don't yet feel like, okay, that's as much me as yeah, definitely the identification with me is still there, but the pure joy and bliss of being without any other desire is very much like I just got that validation, and it's okay. Like let this come. It's a necessary state, whatever it is, but not to resist it, not to make it wrong. Well, not to make anything wrong, I guess is the overarching idea. Not to make myself wrong, not to make any experience wrong. Yeah, so that was a big one. Like the third day of the retreat, I was just like, I don't even need to meditate anymore. Just sitting there, just like as one of the other attendants say, just abiding. I'm like, yeah, exactly, just abiding, just sitting there in the pleasure of just being, you know, experiencing the sights, the sounds, and all the beautiful things. So yeah, and that was the experience. And then, by day 3, what really came to me, because you know the Reggie Ray's teachings came back to me because it was a tantric retreat. They supported me in meditations and going deeper. And at the end of the retreat, I'm like, wait a minute. The Jinkies have been talking all along about the living from your body, like song, like the body knows best. You gotta listen to your body, but they talk about it, and then it's like, well, how do I do it? Especially if I'm not, by my human design doesn't have any internal authority to refer to. In fact, they said, don't. If you're a mental projector, whatever you do, don't listen to your instinct or your gut or whatever. So, or your emotions. So I was like, okay, this is in a bit of a pickle, doesn't it? And so I remembered Reggie Ray, Somatic Descent. I actually had the course all along on exactly how to, give over agency of my life to the body. So in all earnesty, I came back, I started listening to the course, and that just was another mind expanding, mind blowing experience. Straight away, like wherever, however far I went, I got years ago. I was already straight away there. Like I can feel the cells, I can feel the awareness inside the body, the primordial soma. Like I said, the central channel updraft. Like it was always like whatever skills or however what how I got. Like it's always the body always remembers. So it's really nice. And yeah, and so far the few sessions that I've done, with the supplicating to the body, bringing your concern, or just like sitting with it, the way that Reggie describes, has produced very surprising visions. It produced incredible like flashes of ideas and stuff. So I'm super excited. And then how it ties back to the delta is because, at the start of the retreat, I shifted out of the physical and went into position two, the sacral, which is the theme of the week was meant to be relationships, and maybe some difficulties would have come up in the relationships, how to behave graciously in relationships. And the follow-up sharing, I was like, you know what, it's my third delta, and at the end of the third delta, and every single other time the week was always spot on, even if I didn't read about what the position was, like the theme of the week was like matching to the theme of the delta I was meant to be working through that week. And I was like, but this is the first week where it's like, it's just doesn't. There wasn't any relationship difficulties. There wasn't even any relationship on my mind at all. And it did cross my mind. I didn't say it, but one of the other ladies in the Delta did say it. So it must be true, since it's a shared thought, that I was in fact working on the most important relationship of my life, relationship to myself and to my body. And even Reggie Ray says, like, with this kind of work, it's like beginning a new relationship with a lover. And that's how I feel. Like right now, I feel like, oh, I go avocado, I'm listening, and how you going? How, what can I do for you? It's something special. So, yes, I'm super excited, especially, like I said, because it's Gene Keys alludes to it in many different ways, in many different passages within the Gene Keys. And I finally feel like, oh, now I finally know how, and I'm doing it. So much so that, yeah, it's one of the many inspirations I got this week as I started doing this work is to bring the somatic descent practice into, like, before I was just gonna be do the Gene Keys guide, but now it's like, okay, if I really I'm embodying bliss more and more. I've been reading about it. I get the mechanics of it, so it's very exciting to now be able to explain to people, okay, this is how it works. And also now I'm seeing more clearly, okay, the little pillars. I'll find a better word for it, but pillars so far is good. Like, what's the pillars of this blissful existence? And yeah, I'm excited to be bringing out, even though it's all of it is somebody else's work. Like, I'm not breaking any new ground there, just to put it together in what I believe to be the key components of living a blissful life, of progressively getting to this embodied state, which I, obviously still firmly believe is the solution to all the world's problems and all your personal problems as well. Because if you live in bliss, what other problems do you have? You can be in prison, you can be all on your own, you can be, life, whatever life throws at you, if you're in bliss, not only it doesn't rattle you so much. I do believe that this frequency also has the power to shift whatever it is that you're coming across. So yeah, and another really, so yeah, fully reinvigorated, redoing the website, all of these things are coming through, all coming together, and kind of like a unique body of work. I'm really excited about. And yeah, some of the bigger changes as I came back is my evolution is simplicity, and every other jinky, I kind of like I get it, and I get the principle of this one, but then I was like, there's just no way. I mean, other people say I live simply, but I don't think I live simply. Like I just want to do too many things. I got multiple businesses. I got just my brain just wants to learn it all and know it all, and there's no way. Like a life complexity is just. I resign myself to the fact that it's a scale. And so I'm somewhere on the simplicity, the complexity is a scale. It's not a black and white state, and yeah, I'm just somewhere along the scale, but maybe closer to simplicity than most people, but by my estimation, still pretty close to complexity. Until, like I said, this retreat and this experience, and I came home, and there was absolutely no need to like discipline myself and cross things off my schedule, because it was before it was like, no, I don't want to let go any of it. Like I want to learn it all. And now it's just like I don't want to participate in any of it. Crossing things out, leaving social networks, saying no to engagements, just like this. That's it. You know, it's just. I guess there's two ways. Like you can contemplate a jinky, and through contemplation, something unlocks, and then you shift in that spectrum of from shadow to gift. But it's even more exciting where like I said, what I feel like happening right now, I wasn't actually looking at the jinky at all. Like I was just doing, going where the universe calls me and answering the call, and then bam, like I just feel like I had without intending on it, a massive a breakthrough in my evolution sphere from complexity to simplicity. There's still ways to go, obviously, like, I guess the ultimate simplicity is me turning into a vegetable in a hammock, and we'll see if that's my life path or not. And another really interesting development, which I totally didn't expect, is through my somatic work, I had a vision of moving. And you think like, well, where else would I move from here, right? It's already pretty much paradise, and it is paradise, but uh, there's a few little things. Like it started with my neighbors, because I like to pretend I'm in the jungle, and it's quite jungly, especially the other side. There's empty lots, but that side isn't. Like I actually have neighbors. It's big lots, and I keep mine very bushy, and it is very very remote, so it's just kind of like a semi-rural place. Because people, even now that I'm thinking about moving, people are still cautioning like, you can't just go by yourself, live in the jungle. You need to be in an expatriate community of some sort to stay safe. Uh, so yeah, and the neighbors like, yeah, they just don't like my chickens. It's not so much the chickens, it's the roosters, but I'm just so immersed. It's been 10 years. They're like I see them as my animal aura. So there's Polina, and then there's my immediate aura, and then there's my grander animal aura that I just can't imagine. Not just energetically, but it's also a lifestyle. I feed off eggs. Like I can't imagine eating any other way. It's just as we have a over 10-year-old symbiotic relationship. So yeah, that was the first little. I need to move because they continue to complain, and they're gonna review the subdivision rules, and I just don't like. I don't like to be a pest in anyone's life. They're trying to just radiate goodness, and to kind of understand that I'm causing someone lack of well-being rather than improving it is not nice. I mean, you can't please everybody, but I'm still trying to be conscientious. Yeah, and then and then just the desire to live on a fertile land, because here you can see it's just rock, and it just continues so for hundreds of meters in. So yes, I do. I did manage to grow a food forest, which I hope if I do sell this and then somewhere else, somebody else gets to enjoy. But yeah, knowing that Vanuatu is like extremely fertile soil living somewhere. And then I started looking, so and then I didn't want to go to. I mean, it's kind of funny, especially if you live in a city. You come here to the capital, it's like 20,000 people, little sleeping village. But for me, it's become too like going there once a week is stress. I don't want to. I feel like after I go, feel like I need to recover. And again, I understand like if I was completely self-contained and in my center, it shouldn't matter. But then why do I need to protect myself? Like, why not move somewhere where I don't have to protect myself, where it's just naturally, flowing and beautiful and spacious, just like I feel inside. So yeah, contemplating move to another. First, I wanted to like completely go bush. I'm like, that's it. I just want to bliss out on being. I don't need anything else. But again, a friend said, look, it's very hard in Vanuatu if you go completely like um, not so much even into the wilderness, but like other islands where expatriates don't live very much or by yourself. There is another one that's more larger island, but smaller, much smaller town, very spacious. Yeah, and then I shared with a few people, and all the feedback I got so far is like, "Oh yes, you'll thrive there. It's so you should." And then I started looking at some pieces of land there, and then so the it's very well known for like blue holes, like real this crystalline, out of this world, light blue rivers and plunging holes. So saw some pieces of land, with those rivers, and I was just like, this is it. I've done my seashore. It's not actually my design, the seashore. My design is the valley. And then I understand a lot of the times rivers do run in the valley. So, yeah, it feels the line. And it's interesting, because as like I said, I had no desires. And honestly, my desire would have just been to stay here. I don't know, I'm going to move the whole 50 chickens and ducks to another island. Like, I have no idea. Obviously, it's a lot of complexity. I have to start building and creating, another outdoor living space like I enjoy here. So yeah, I wouldn't say like, oh, it's a desire, but this is exactly the practice. And not the practice, but kind of the confirmation where it really isn't like a desire, or I'm gonna like try to make it happen now. It arose, especially it arose out of the experience of somatic descent and meditation as a flash, as a vision. And I'm not concerning myself. Like obviously I started asking and looking, but I'm not concerning myself with how. I'm concerning myself even I don't know, have no money for it. Just replace the roof on this house. Like I'm back to zero. I'm not concerned about that. So if it's a vision and if it's, the universal alignment pulling me that that's what I need to do next, I believe everything will be provided and everything will be orchestrated in the best possible way. So, or maybe just a flash of the ego or something, wanting something different or some sort of a unexpected transit that I've been affected by, some sort of a channel of newness got closed for a couple of days. So we'll see. It's nice to commemorate it here on video, exactly this moment and how it is and how I feel about this idea, and see in 6 months' time or a year's time where I find myself in relation to that idea. Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to make it exactly half an hour. So thank you very much for listening. It's been a pleasure to share, to dissect, And I wish you great epiphanies and simplicity and bliss.